Hey guys, happy Tuesday. Today is November 3rd, 2020. We are continuing our Unit 3 place values. In your journal on a new clean page, I want you to write down the green underlined words. It says comparing and ordering decimals through the thousandths place. Pause the video here if you need to do that, and we will continue here in just a minute. Again, you don't have to write this part down, but today we will be analyzing place number values in order from least to greatest, greatest to least, and comparing values through the thousandths place. All right, so this first one, I just want you to put your pencils down and remember just to pay attention and follow along as I go. So first, we are going to look at this one, and we are comparing them. So it says, shade both the fractions below for the correct values. Which fraction has more shaded in? So your first one reads 345 thousandths. So again, you have to start with your tenths. You shade in 1/10, 2/10, 3/10. And again, for me, it's harder to shade in all of it because of my highlighter tool on here. But you're shading in all three of these for 3/10. Then you have 400ths, so you count them out. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then it is that very last part for 5, for 345. Then you're looking at the next one. It says 254 thousandths. So I'm going to shade in 1. I'm shade in 2. And then I'm going to shade in my 50. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then my 4. Now, if I'm looking at these pictures and I'm comparing them, I'm thinking which fraction has more shaded in? Well, you can look to see that 345 thousandths has more shaded in than 254 thousandths. So then, if you were to compare them, you have to use your comparing words and the symbols that go with it. It would be that it is greater. 345 thousandths is greater than 254 thousandths. So that is how that would read. That is your comparing aspect of it. Now, same thing. This time, I want y'all to try to do it. I want you to shade in both of the values and then create your fractions and then write in your symbol which one is greater, 245 thousandths or 254 thousandths. Now, again, I do want you to try to create and shade these, so you might have to pause the video here to get your equations written out. Okay, so you should have your 200. These are super close together. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you have that small part there. And then this one is almost identical. 1, 2, and then you have 50. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 4 right there. So this one you have to look. It has the exact same digits, but one has a little bit more shaded in. So therefore, your symbol should have been the gator eating the greater number. So this one reads 245 thousandths is less than 254 thousandths. Make sure you have those created in your journals. All right, here's one that I am going to show you on the number line. It says, I do. I'm going to place the values below on the number line based on where I think that they are going to go. Okay, so I'm going to start by splitting it in half. And I know that that is going to be 500 thousandths or 5/10 or 50 hundredths. Now I can be able to kind of estimate where these are going to go. So if I know that my 0 is here, my 2/10 is going to be about right here. So I'm going to plot, I'm going to write 200 thousandths. My next one says 450 thousandths. I know that that's going to be super close to my 500. So I'm going to write that one right here, and I'm going to draw that line a little bit lower. 0 and 450 thousandths. Now this one reads 5/10. That is almost 0. So that one should be almost at 0. And then this one, 987 thousandths, it is almost 1. But you could actually even put it closer over here. So first thing I would want y'all to do is split it in half so that you know where you're supposed to go on the number line. And here's the one I want you to do on your own. So I want you to create a number line that has your 0 and your 1. I would go ahead and split it and put your 500 thousandths in the middle, and then create the lines where they belong. Oh, look, you have one already done for you. So you can create that very first one. You've already done it. Then I want you to try to plot the other 3 where you think they should go. Pause the video here, get those created. Okay, so then you should have your 130 thousandths is 1/10. So I would place that very close. This is a rough estimate. Then your 2 thousandths, remember that is almost at 0. 0 and 0, 200 thousandths. And then you should have had your 751 thousandths somewhere right about here. 0 and 751 thousandths. And that is what we are practicing today, comparing, putting them on a number line, and you being able to put them in order either from least to greatest or greatest to least. And as you can see, now you can see that 2 thousandths is the smallest and 751 thousandths is your greater number as they get closer to 1. Okay, so here we're going to go through comparing in order thousandths. This is on page number 20. It says, how do you say each of these decimal fractions? You have 530 thousandths and 705 thousandths. How could you compare these two? Well, I would look to see which one has a greater value starting in our largest place value house, which is your tenths. And you can look to see that 7 is greater than 5. So therefore, your greater gator is going to eat that greater number. How could you compare the 2 decimal fractions to figure out which is greater? You could shade in the fractions on the thousandths grid, or you could also put them in order on the fraction line. Remember, your middle is here, and your 500 thousandths is always a good point to mark. Now your 530 is going to be right there, 530 thousandths. And your 7 is going to be afterwards, which is 705 thousandths. So therefore, if you're looking at it on the number line, it is closer to 1, therefore it is your greater number. If you are looking at the decimals, the very first place value you're going to check is on your tenths. And then you move from left to right like you normally would. Okay, so here is what I want you to practice now. With the same numbers, it says to draw arrows approximately on the number line in order. So you're going to draw lines where you think that they're going to go. Again, a good reference point is always put your 5/10 or 500 thousandths in the middle. That way you know where to go. And then it says, then write down the decimals in order from least to greatest. So if you're looking at your lines, this one should be right about there. This one is going to be right about here. This one is going to be here. and this one's going to go right there. And so then you look to see which one hit the number line first. It is 325 thousandths. Then you're checking to see which hits second. It is 455 thousandths. And then your next one is going to be here, which is 810 thousandths. And your last one is 895 thousandths. And that is our beginning practice of today. And the next part is a you do. This is your independent practice where you are working on Orgo. It is on page 21. You are going to do the same thing. You're going to write the fraction sets in order from least to greatest. You can use the number line to plot to help you. These first two have your halfway point written, so you can do that. On your number 3, it says loop or circle the greatest fraction. So you're circling the greatest value of a fraction for A, B, C, and D. And then your number 4, it says write your greater than or less than symbol inside. Now, if they are exactly the same, remember you have your equal sign as well. Once you get to that point, then you need to let me know. And your very last part of today is your independent practice. There's comparing decimals. There's a 2-minute video review, and then a 7-set questions. Then you have ordering decimals through the thousands and a video that goes with that, and your exercises for today. And that is it. So make sure that you do your independent practice on page 21 first. Check in with me, and then you can begin on your independent practice on Khan Academy. And I'll see you guys soon.